Now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
For 42 years, he has terrorized this town. Tonight, it ends.
We need to stop this mother...
We need a plan of attack. We have to get these people out of town.
How can he still be alive?
This is Officer Williams. Our night isn't over yet.
going on, everybody? Welcome to another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews, exclusively here as always on the Casa D18 Studios channel. I, of course, am your host, the Renegade JJ Williams, and today it's time to take a look at the second chapter of the Blumhouse trilogy, and that is Halloween Kills, starring Jamie Lee Curtis, Judy Greer, Will Patton, Andy Matichak, Anthony Michael Hall, Dylan Arnold, Charles Cyphers, James Jude Courtney, and Nick Castle. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining me here once again for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews. As I said in the introduction, today we're going to take a look at the second chapter of the Blumhouse trilogy, Halloween Kills. And our movie opens on October 31st, 1978, as Deputy Frank Hawkins accidentally shoots his partner dead while trying to save him from Michael Myers. He also prevents Dr. Samuel Loomis from executing Michael. 40 years later, on October 31st, 2018, after being stabbed and left to die by Dr. Ranbir Sartain, Hawkins is found by Cameron Elam, who calls an ambulance. Hawkins regrets right then and there not allowing Michael's execution 40 years prior and vows to kill him. Meanwhile, Tommy Doyle is celebrating the 40th anniversary of Michael's imprisonment, along with fellow survivors, Marion Chambers, Lindsay Wallace, and Cameron's father, Lonnie Elam, all of whom survived an encounter with Michael back in 1978. Firefighters responding to Laurie Strode's burning house encounter Michael, who slaughters them with her own equipment. Laurie, her daughter Karen, and her granddaughter Allison are then taken to Haddonfield Memorial Hospital, where Laurie undergoes emergency surgery. Michael attacks Laurie's neighbors, first killing the husband by stabbing him to death, then impaling the wife's throat with a fluorescent light tube. He then starts walking back to Haddonfield, while Tommy, Marion, Lindsay, and Lonnie all learn of Michael's killing spree through a wireless emergency alert. Bar patron Vanessa supposedly encounters Michael in her car, but the driver crashes and escapes unnoticed. Tommy then goes and forms a vengeful mob of Haddonfield residents in order to hunt down and kill Michael. When Karen is informed that Michael is still alive, she withholds the information from Laurie in order to allow her time to recover. Allison reconciles with Cameron, her ex-boyfriend, and she joins Tommy's mob in order to avenge her own father's death. Laurie and Hawkins both awaken in the same room and begin to reminisce about their former relationship. While warning the community to stay inside their houses, Marion, Vanessa, and her husband Marcus are all killed by Michael. Lindsay is able to escape and is found alive by Lonnie, Tommy, Allison, and Cameron. And the group then map out Michael's path, and his victims' locations all deduce that he is heading towards his childhood home. Tommy takes Lindsay to the hospital and reunites with former Haddonfield Sheriff Lee Brackett, whose daughter Annie was killed in 1978, and informs Laurie about Michael's survival. Across town, Michael murders the current owners of his home as Laurie prepares to leave the hospital. Lance Tivoli, a fugitive from Smiths Grove Psychiatric Hospital and the driver of Vanessa's car, who escaped alongside of Michael when their bus crashed, arrives at the hospital and is mistaken for Michael. Tommy's mob pursue him throughout the hospital before Karen realizes that he is not Michael Myers. But despite her attempts to calm down the mob and to help Lance, he jumps out of a window to his death. Laurie then urges Karen to work with Tommy and Brackett to hunt Michael down. Elsewhere, Lonnie enters Michael's former home and is killed as a result. Allison and Cameron then rush inside and find his corpse before being attacked by Michael, who murders Cameron. As Michael prepares to kill Allison, Karen appears and stabs him in the back with a pitchfork, steals his mask, and taunts him to follow her. She then leads Michael directly into Tommy's mob, who swarm, attack, and seemingly kill him. When the mob disperses, Michael recovers and massacres the remaining members of the mob, including Tommy and Brackett. Back at Michael's home, Karen goes upstairs in order to investigate while Allison receives medical attention. Michael appears and stabs Karen to death in Judith Myers' old bedroom as Laurie just stares out of her hospital room, and our movie comes to its end. I feel like this was a decent enough second act, but much like the original Halloween 2 back in 1981, Laurie is laid up for most of the movie. A lot of it takes place in the hospital, and there's very little that moves the story forward. There's a lot of throwback to 78. We see Tommy Doyle, Lindsay Wallace, Sheriff Brackett, and there's very little to really move forward the story here. With the exception of Tommy Doyle's speech in celebration of the events from 40 years prior, and, going through recovering from dealing with Michael being incarcerated and just trying to get back on with their lives and celebrating the survivors. And then when Lance enters the hospital and is mistaken for Michael, chased down, commits suicide, and then the final confrontation with Michael, everything else in the middle of this movie is really just a lot of filler and unnecessary. You could almost tack the beginning on at the very end of the 2018 Halloween and the ending on to the very beginning of Halloween Ends, and you're good. The Big John, Little John thing, irrelevant at the end of the day. So Michael goes home and he kills the people that are now living in his home. Whoop de freaking do. It's just a lot of unnecessary filler in the midst of what could have made a decent trilogy if you just marked this one out and went 78 2018 ends. There were little bits and pieces that I enjoyed. I did like starting to see Allison and Cameron get back together, but Cameron deserved to die after cheating on her in the last one, so oh well, he perished. Karen getting killed after running around the movie wearing a Christmas sweater the entire time. I'll die on this hill. That's exactly why she got killed. I mean, society dictates that you can't start doing Christmas until Black Friday anyways. So for her to be running around on Halloween night in a Christmas sweater, you're lucky you survived the first movie with that on, and Michael didn't kill you the minute he saw you. So you've got a woman with a bob haircut named Karen running around on Halloween wearing a Christmas sweater shirt, and you wonder why she gets killed. It's just destined for Karen to die. I'm just saying. And when you watch the way she responds to Laurie, you can just imagine her walking into a retail store and asking to speak to the manager. Plain and simple, Karen had to die. Other than that, it just kind of was what it was. When it comes to my rating, For Halloween Kills, I give it 2 out of 5 stars. Like I said, there's a lot of unnecessary here. And if you cut the necessary out, you maybe have 30 minutes of an hour and 45-minute movie. Maybe. And that's being generous. There's so much story here that really is inconsequential at the end of the day to the huge story arc. That's my thoughts, though. What did you guys think of Halloween Kills? Let me know if you're watching the premiere. Leave your thoughts and comments over here. If you're watching on demand later in the day, leave your thoughts and comments down here. Let's have that discussion, that debate, that conversation, that interaction that I love to engage with you, my fans. And make sure you guys tune in tomorrow, right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews. And ladies and gentlemen, it is time for Halloween Ends. That's right, but it won't just be me. No. It'll be the dads, not always on wrestling, reviewing the finale, hopefully, of the Halloween Michael Myers saga. So make sure you tune into that tomorrow, Halloween Day, 3 o'clock Pacific, 6 o'clock Eastern, right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel. You don't want to miss out on that right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, right here on an all-new edition of Renegades Reviews. The dads, not always on wrestling, discussing Halloween Ends. To all my loyal fans and viewers out there, thank you so much for tuning in and joining me today. I greatly appreciate it. Make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure that notification bell is turned on. That way you're alerted anytime a video drops right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel. Make sure you share this video with your family, friends, loved ones, co-workers, movie fanatics, cinephiles in your life. Anybody you can think of who's a fan of John Carpenter, the Halloween saga, Jamie Lee Curtis, anything like that. Share my video and my content with them. It's the only way we're going to boost up my visibility in YouTube's algorithms so I can eventually get monetized, make some money on this endeavor. Thank you once again to everyone who tuned in and joined me here today. It means more to me than you'll ever know. And I will see you guys next time.